Dharma Bites is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
So thoughts were sometimes going round and round in my mind, and I'd sort of see through them, I'd work on them, I'd be in my body awareness, I'd just try and bring my awareness to it and let them go, and I'd do that, but they would return, a bit like Marcus's demons, they would return, and the same thing would happen again. And I remember going for walks, my mind would sort of slide towards painful memories, and I was sort of self-judgments really, that why did I do that, and I should have known better, and why do I now not learn? Those sort of thoughts were coming up. And the sort of rational mind had no answers to that. It wasn't really helping. And at that point, the only lasting peace I could find came from bringing the Buddha to mind, how he was and the freedom that he embodied for me, really. When I did that, it sort of seemed to touch something very deep in me, and sort of the knots of that process in my mind, they sort of dissolved. Something had lifted me out of that predicament. I suppose it sort of connected with me with my faith in him, a very deep faith in the beauty of his being, and a real appreciation and a gratitude for what he'd done. Sometimes I thought about the many stories from the Pali Canon that bring out his humanity, in particular his personality. I love reading those stories where you can really glimpse him as a human being, as we are. He's very beautifully described. So I can imagine him as a person, and from that perspective, somehow you can sort of comparatively feel his wisdom and his extraordinariness. And in particular, I was very, very inspired by him as a sharer of the Dharma in the really early teachings, the very early suttas of the Pali Canon. They're the ones that record his life before he started formulating and talking from, as it seems, those Dharmic lists and teachings, where he's really sharing his experience and his wisdom, sort of person to person, one to one, in very, just quite creative, unique sort of ways.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharma Bite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.